writer's memory of his own sort of life, and it's based on his own sort of memory of certain events
that's an
within
opinion,
his
that's
own
fine.
life. And
but why would you think that cinema would be unable to capture this?
no, I don't think that cinema would be unable to capture it. I think that it's an extremely intimate, personal, and satirical and stylistic sort of
okay, thanks so much.
So
I think one of the things that you're articulating is something a lot of people felt about Midnight's Children, and coincidentally there's several books that have come to the screen recently that are considered extremely difficult books to film, unfilmable. You know, somebody was talking about Life of Pi, where years back when Jan Martin came out with that book, people looked at it and said, it'll never translate on screen. And I watched it recently, Ang Lee's version, and it translated beautifully. It translated as though it had been made for the screen. I'm actually not an adaptations purist. I don't know whether you are. You know, there's a certain kind of conversation about book to film adaptations. It's always the story of somebody walking out and saying that wasn't as good as the book. And to me,
it missed out this detail, and what about this character, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that since you've acted in so many of these, you're actually an enthusiast for the opposite point of view.
Yeah, I mean, and also having written, co-written Moth Smoke, we've been very delightfully disrespectful to the book. I mean, no, Mohsen loves the script. You know, he understands that it's a different creature. Thank you very much. Now it's our turn, kind of thing. And if we try and stick to what the book says, then we might as well go back to rewriting Moth Smoke, which is, you can't make it better than it is. It's so wonderful. So, yeah, I'm definitely on your side.
Well, two questions I wanted to ask, and take them in whichever order you want to. One was about walking into Zulfikar's skin after you'd actually spent time with Salim Sinai. And the other had to do much more about turning screenwriter yourself. Because that was inevitable at some point of time, right?
Okay, so I have played General Zulfi part out of sentimentality to the whole Midnight's Children becoming a movie event. I've never played anything but the lead in my life, and I would never do this again for any other kind of script. But I have done it this time because Salman's book is, to be a part of that, is something that I didn't want to miss out on. But there was a great awesome cast. And there was Deepa Mehta. And so there was these little carrots also. Not that she dangled them in front of me, I saw them myself. To play somebody from 25 to 55 was something I'd never done before. Japanese Wife stopped at about 45, 47. And to sort of get your head shaved in parts to give that balding feel and that papery makeup, and it was good fun to do. But more important, to actually try and use all the tools I do for my leads in an 11-minute role was, now I understand, it's even more important, because you just feel, what the hell, I'll just get onto the set, I have a tiny role, I'll just pick up the money, you know, have a couple of beers in the evening, finish my filming and just get out of there. Parachute in and parachute out. But your sense of shame is the same, whether you're there for 11 minutes and you're bad, or you're there for the whole film and you're bad. So I really had to work very hard. I didn't ever think of Salim, the transition. I kept seeing Salim develop during the workshop, because Satya is playing Salim, and a part of me would feel like crying. And a part of me was just curious to see what he would be doing. And a part of me was biting my tongue not to stand in judgment of, you know, the way he's, we're all different people. So that, even now, it still continues, because I was breathing that role for a few months. But Zulfi is somebody I loved inhabiting. He's the only remotely bad person in the book. So it was fun to play Zulfi. You had a second question?
Well, the second question was much more, Moth Smoke was Mohsin Hamid's first book, and how many people have read it here? Okay, in that case I'm not going to talk about it that much, but you have some sense in that case of how rewarding it would be to translate it into film, and how difficult at the same time. You can't do it by staying faithful to the text, right?
when I say I co-wrote Moth Smoke, I co-wrote it to about 15%. It's been brilliantly written by a friend of mine, Nisar Modi in America, but he took some things from me, he did the whole thing, and then I gave back some things to him. But I did write The Whisperers, for example, but as an adaptation, I think the one thing that I kept telling Nisar, who's a writer in the American style, you know, Nilanjana, they write very astringently. American screenplay writers write very clean, astringent. There's no atmospherics, no cinematics. Boy comes in, sits down on chair and starts to cry. Boy comes in, sits down on Victorian chair. The smell of burnt roses infuses his, and Indians tend to overwrite when they come to screenplay. The camera goes very close to his eye. No, we don't want to see that. You do that later. But I think that it was clean. He just took it and he went clean into the through line. And I said, Nisar, this is like so stripped down to the bone, this like a skeleton. Let's put some flesh back on it. So that's what the cinematics to give readers, funders an idea of what this film will breathe and smell and look like is, I think, what I put back.
Now that you're moving into these different areas, are there books, particularly ones written by Indian authors, that you want to see up on screen or that you think you'd like to act in or direct yourself?
Well, there's this one book that has been getting terrific reviews, and some of my friends have read it. I don't know whether you've read it. It's called The Wildings. And I'm just thinking that I can't find who the writer is. I'm looking for the writer. And I'm trying to see, maybe, because we have a lot of cats in our society, some human and some not. Just wondering who to cast for the role of these cats. I haven't read the book myself, but I'm going to. And I'm going to take a shot at that. But, you know, I don't know how expensive the rights are going to be, so we'll have to see.
Cast of 1,000 News. Thank you so much for that. We should move back into the audience now because I think we are running low on time since this is the last session of the day. But just before that, are you very disappointed that Deepa Mehta couldn't come and that Salman Rushdie is not welcome in the city?
No. To be disappointed, you have to be appointed. You know, to be disillusioned, you have to be illusioned. And I don't have any illusions. Does it mean that I'm enervated and disheartened and won't fight the fight against cultural intolerance? Of course not. Both you and I will continue to do what we do outside of our art, and we will fight to the last breath. But am I disappointed? Honestly not. I mean, because I don't think that's Calcutta. I don't think the whole of Calcutta is up in arms about this. I think it's just, you know, it becomes very, and honestly I don't know who the vested interests are, but it is vested interests. It'll always be 1% of the population that will control the sort of the narrative. It's happened through history, through time. We just have to keep fighting, putting your shoulder to the wheel, standing obdurately. But disappointed? No, I mean, it's like people saying, are you nervous about the release of your film? Why, what? I mean, I'll act badly, I'll forget my lines. What should I do, you know? It's there. So, I'm not disappointed, but yes, I definitely am disturbed that this is part of a stitching together of stuff that's happening over the last 2 decades, no?
It is definitely, and what's happening with the other film that you're involved with, Vishwarupan? You know,
I don't have a release for a year, and then I have 2 films releasing, and they're both coming up on the same day, so I think now I'm going to become a superstar, obviously. There's nobody else around who has 2 films on that day, and then both those films just start gathering the storm, and I'm like, will anybody even see the movie? Everybody's talking about it. Oh, Vishwarupam, yeah. But we didn't see you. You know, we didn't see the film. Or Midnight Children. Yeah. What do I say about Vishwarupam? It's a film about, it's an action film, guys. It's an action film about a Muslim raw agent trying to save the world and a Muslim madman he's in Al-Qaeda. So what is there to say? On the contrary, it probably says that people from the same religion can be good and evil, and therefore religion has got nothing to do with it. So I don't even think Mr. Hassan is trying to make any kind of politico-religious point here. He's making an action film. And we have seen over so many films that the whole using religion for violence. Okay, whether it's, I'm having these wonderful brain funks, those fights between the big religious fights of the 10th and 11th century. Crusades, thank you so much. Mala, is that you? Yeah, lovely. I always rely on Mala. So Crusades, or whether it's now, it's a done deal. You know that it's going to be, that people are going to conflate, religion with this kind of terroristic violence. And so that's what it's got nothing to do with. Inadvertently, has he hurt someone's feelings? Who knows? Inadvertently, I might be hurting someone's feelings right now because I'm wearing leather. I mean, So what are you going to do?
Thank you so much. We're going to take this into the audience now for the last 10 minutes. Mala, how much time do we have? 15 minutes, all right. We've taken a question from here, so we'll just go elsewhere.
But this Nazi lighting is, by the way, I can't see anything. It's like we're being interrogated. Okay. I feel like apologizing right now.
Instead of raising your hands, could you just jump up and down until we have a little visibility?
Okay, so now they're dimming it and increasing it in this real torture. Where were you?
There's a lady in the second row, I think. If anybody is off to the side, seriously, try and come out in front because we really can't see you. Thank you.
Hi, since you're here and Deepa couldn't come, do you bring a message from Midnight's Children team?
Tickets are available. It's a movie, it's releasing, it's a wonderful book. Come and see the film, criticize it, love it. I mean, come on guys, at the end of the day, that's what we all walk into darkened halls and get. Reserve your fight for before and after that, no?
Okay, fine, the lady in the front row.
So what kind of references were you given for the role of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto? What were the sort of references?
First of all, he's General Zulfikar. It's got nothing to do with Bhutto. So it's a thing that a lot of people. Also in the book, my character has got nothing to do with what you finally see at the end of the film when he signs the surrender agreement with General Arora on the Bangladesh war. It was actually General Niazi, and he's in the book too. But in the movie, it's the same character, General Zulfikar, who grows into the surrendering Pakistani general of 1971. Actually, what I did was I read the script, read the book, and decided to create a Zulfi for myself based on the dots. I connected the dots. Then Deepa and I figured finally that he was deeply misogynistic, insecure. He might have been a closet or an open, maybe he treated women very cruelly. He loved authority, people he loved to be bossed over. He loved to boss over. He would betray friends to get a step up. So we created a whole biography, and I always do that. It's called the biography method, but I always start from zero to the day he starts filming, to the age he was. So I went through his love lives, his music, his food, everything. So we created that. She didn't give me any reference points in terms of, I want you to model yourself on X, because it's very helpful. Sometimes when people say, that's who I want you to model yourself on, and immediately you get so many cues. She didn't do that.
Very different from the way you played August in English August, yes? Was this very different from the way you played August in English August? Agastya?
See, Nilanjana, English August, Agastya was so close to me at the time. Shallow and urban at the time. But, a few jokes and a bit of wry humor and, masturbation, which I know nothing about, and smoking dope, which I genuinely know very little about. Agastya was kind of easy. But Zulfi wasn't. I mean, Zulfi wasn't easy because he could so easily be a caricature. But when you see Zulfi in this film, through, thanks to Deepa, she's put in stuff that's not in the book. And for Zulfi, who's an 11-minute role, and she couldn't afford to because she cut an hour from this film. But she did. And I remember going to her once and saying that I see Zulfi, you're never going to shoot this, but I just see Zulfi quiet. I don't know why. I feel we are missing something in Zulfi if we don't see him quiet. And she came back to me a week or 3 or 4 days later and said, I've written this scene. I said, Deepa, it'll never make the final cut. You have so many things to do, so many actors. She said, no, let's shoot it. So I said, fine. And she wrote something very beautiful. Have you seen the film? It's the last scene of Zulfi's, when he's waiting before he surrenders. He's waiting in that room alone. And so I think, so I think that,
Yes, it's remarkable, I mean, to have a book like this, which both when Deepa speaks about it and when you speak about it, what comes through is the immense love that you have for this book in particular. You know, I think that's a good note on which to close unless anybody else has... Okay, there's a question at the back. Sorry. The mic's just coming to you.
I would like to know how much of you do you cross-refer when preparing for the role? If you go back to when my first impression of Rahul Bose is Rahul Bose as Pawbon in Ashok Banker's A Mouthful of Sky. And
remind me to kill you after this. I'm slowly killing all the people who saw Mouthful of Sky, so there's no history of it. But anyway, please finish your question.
So
we live in intolerant
going right
times.
back to there, and now coming a full circle here, and everything else in between, Rahul Bose, the rugby player, how much of you do you cross-refer when you prepare yourself for a project?
Let us say the central color of Zulfi is red. Let us say the dominating characteristic of Zulfi is pompous, cruel. Okay? Something, a combination of this. You try and find that in yourself. Maybe you've just been that way when you're at work. Or maybe you're that way, I don't know. And if you can't find it within yourself, then there's a bit of a problem. You have to find, that's why they say that actors should live, so that they can have little slivers of different Rahuls that they can pick one from and explode that into an entire character. But if I don't find it, with Zulfi it is very difficult to find this. I don't think I've ever been cruel in that respect. Then you look at somebody very close to you who has shades of that. And that's when I found it. Who has shades of that, and it's almost sexually exciting for this person to wield that kind of power. Couple that with his basic sense of sexual inadequateness. Oh, sorry, I forgot. There is something that I had with Zulfi, one commonality.
Do you want to talk about this?
Has the city lost its sense of humor or what? Or maybe you're all saying, yeah, of course, we can see that. Damn, the joke falls flat. Come on, Rahul, we know you're sexually inadequate. All of us know, in fact. So then you look at somebody very close and, quietly and shadily and slimily keep studying them.
He may be available for dating purposes, judging by that last part of the conversation. And thank you all for being such good sports.
I will say one thing about, just 1 second, I'm sorry. Salman spoke about this yesterday, so I just thought I'll just put it on. So very nice he said. He said that, as I said before, he wrote this to be a kind of a memoir of his childhood, to relive those days, and it became something bigger. And then it became this book, and it became this booker, then this booker of bookers, and he traveled the world, and he owes so much of his success to this book, he was saying. And then it's become a movie, and he's written the screenplay, he's done the voiceover, he's worked on the edit with, or rather, conferred on the edit with Deepa, been for the world premiere, and he said he wanted to close the circle by coming to Bombay, to close the circle on when he started writing this novel. And I'm sure he would say the same thing if he was here today. Calcutta or no Calcutta, I do think that we have to show him the grace to close the circle. Thank you.